The never-ending
Hi,
story.
everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And we're joined by two majestic beasts of human beings this evening. The first, the beautiful, the godlike, the effervescent Jake. Hello, Jake.
I'm with my cool guy gang now. I can't
Yes.
talk to you anymore.
Oh no, we've been replaced.
He's one of the baddies now. And we're joined by the sexiest human that has ever lived. He looks like a bit of a tramp, but he is a beautiful man with a beautiful soul. Hello, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Paul.
How are you today?
Oh,
What's the matter, Lee? What's wrong?
What's wrong, Lee?
it's that photo, but I brought it on myself, didn't I?
Which photo? The one I accidentally put up too early. I made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
It's a total accident that it flew across the screen.
Which one? This one.
The
This one.
never-ending
Which everyone at home will be hearing the beautiful sounds of Lee singing.
What is he singing?
It's so radiant.
The never-ending story.
So yes, that was supposed to be a little surprise for later, but yeah, I fucked up. Sorry, guys.
No,
This is what happens when you do
It's fine.
live shit. But yes, so.
no.
But Lee, I'm sorry. I don't.
It's fine.
We've been mean to you today as well. You've come on the podcast. You're missing your pizza. We've not even feeding the poor hobo Lee as well.
Now living that true hobo life.
Yes.
He is, he's embodying
I
it.
It's fine. You can pick on us all you want. It's still lovely to see you all.
Oh, it's lovely to
bless
see
him.
you too, Lee.
And the chat are loving you as well. Everyone's excited to see the Lee in the
The
chat.
Lee.
There. The Lee. And the Jake.
I think it's just Riley.
It's
Just me, family. Nobody else.
At least your family watches us. My family says, "Oh no, I'm not watching the podcast because you swear too
No.
much."
I know. Chris
No.
isn't even here. He's decided to do like a social event or something, like a madman.
Chris is not in the chat.
Nope. Chris has abandoned us for the evening to be at a wedding.
Chris.
Yes. And he's king
I
as
am
well.
sh-
King
I
for this
am
month.
shocked.
Yeah, we should revoke his title. Probably give it a Hopi for the third time, so he can have it Eric. So yes. And here comes Joe. So the chat's in as well. We've got Beth, we've got Joe, we've got Reverse, we've got Hope, we've got Martin, we've got a few of the regulars and a few of the nice people. So nice to see us as well on this gloomy Sunday night. Oh, we've got a Peach as well. We've got a lovely Peach. So
Ooh.
Sammy, take it
Dogs
away,
have just
beautiful.
my doggies have just gone crazy.
That's
But
right.
regardless, how you all doing and what you've been watching?
Who wants to go
I
first?
did wide eyes and everything, man.
I've been watching loads for
Oh.
some
Yeah.
reason. I went and saw the new Mean Girls movie. That's a
Oh,
You
musical.
didn't.
At the cinema, cashed in some free tickets, baby. But no, that was interesting. I haven't really seen the first one, so I can't really compare it.
Oh, the first one is just amazing. It's so
There's definitely
funny.
cameos though.
Mhm.
There's some cameos that you want, you know. But no, I liked all the songs. I'm like a sucker for musicals anyway.
Mm.
The more like melodramatic, the better for me. Like, and it was very much like a total stage show. You know, like the scene transitions didn't really make sense, but it was okay because you can
Mhm.
get away with that with a musical. Just kind of use the music videos to like gloss over continuity. But no, I had fun, way better than I was expecting. Because
Cool.
a lot of people seemed disappointed by the songs for some reason.
All right.
As far as I heard, it was like your standard, you know, musical affair, like anything that's popular, you know, like Six or something like that.
Yeah, when I
I
heard they
wanna see
were
that.
yeah when I heard they were doing it, I was like, 'cause originally all I heard was it was a remake, and I was like, why would they
Yeah.
do a remake? And then they said it's a musical. I was going, all right, that makes total sense. And there's like say same actors and same cast playing similar roles as well. So I was like, oh well. And again, Mean Girls is such an easy and likable film to watch, so it'll be hard to hate this movie, I guess, unless like some of the performances are really, really bad.
Yeah,
Did-
like the only thing maybe was the main girl wasn't super great at
I heard she was a
singing.
bit weak. I heard her singing was a bit weak, but apart from that, people loved it. But did they use the line, "You go, Glen Coco"?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And fetch was a thing
Oh God,
by
not
the
again.
end.
Stop trying to
Yeah.
make fetch a thing. It's never going to be a thing.
She made it a thing.
Oh,
And I,
cool.
and I, and also I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I
So
thought was
we-
terrible.
Yes.
So we
Jake,
don't have
Jake,
to.
Jake, give us that hot take on Sonic 2.
Oh, do I really? There's a really like a hot take that needs to happen about it. It was just the story was kind of boring somehow. They made Knuckles and Master Emerald and Super Sonic boring. And it
Too
still
much
had
in
that
one
weird,
film.
possibly, and it still had that weird stuff in where like they were talking about Olive Garden again. There was all this like Sonic is the son of the Wachowski family, like just like friggin' Cyclops from X-Men and his boring wife. It's just like why are we concerned about his wife's sister's wedding getting ruined like in a Sonic movie? Like what's going on?
It's like James Masterson, just fuck off and just give us the little blue bastard. That's all we're looking for here.
Yeah,
James
like
Marsden.
Masters,
oh,
what's
different.
this?
Masters is a Spike from Buffy.
Sorry.
Don't be dissing
Oh
him.
my God! Do
He's
not
my
be
best
dissing
mate,
Leo
man.
for
Oh,
that.
that's the
Don't
most
you diss
animated
us,
Lees
James.
we've had in a while. So
Oh.
But yeah, like it was at its best when it was being a stupid video game anime sort of like, look, they're running around the level like, oh, Sonic's in Labyrinth Zone sort of thing. But that was only like maybe like 30% of the movie, and the rest was just weird like comedy bits. And there's that weird guy who plays like the crap policeman in town, and he always just looks like he's cracking a smile when he's acting, because I think he's just like a comedy guy, like the bumbling policeman guy.
it's like, I'm happy I'm in a film. Please just let me just smile.
I think so, but it comes off as just like, this isn't real acting. Like I can see you wanting to laugh at your own jokes. Like, this is
like-
weird.
And you're not a good comedian either if you laugh at your own jokes. Apparently, did he
I
have a
don't-
mustache?
No, scraggly beard. He kind of just
No.
looks like you know, like a Charlie Day knockoff.
Oh.
Dear me.
Same kind of characters, like, oh, the wacky sidekick has to look after the town because Cyclops James has gone on honeymoon, so they can film on location in Hawaii. Like, it just feels like a tax write-off mixed with a kids movie. It's
Possibly.
weird.
Possibly. But yes.
Brilliant.
Sonic 2 gets 2 thumbs down. Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, Hobo Lee? What you been watching?
Probably just the best thing I've watched this week is Masters of the Universe Revolution.
All right.
Ooh, I haven't
In
caught up yet.
It is amazing. Loads of people are saying it's loads better than the first season, but I preferred the first one. Like the ones where He-Man wasn't in it, because we've had loads of He-Man over the years, and it explored the side characters a bit and broadened the horizons of Masters of the Universe. But no, this new season's still excellent.
All right. Like I said, this is something I'm going to catch up on because the Lord and Savior Kevin Smith, like he's involved with it, so we will like watch and do anything that Kevin Smith tells us to do. Yes, Kevin.
Yes, yes, we will.
I don't watch anything he tells me.
No.
Sorry, Kevin.
It's all right.
That's interesting, though. I didn't actually know there wasn't official He-Man in that first season, because I just assumed it was literally like how they did She-Ra. They were just gonna like reimagine like the old series and stuff.
Yeah, they kind of not but kill him off in the first episode,
Yeah.
and then like say they go through the full season trying to like live without He-Man and stuff. So it's quite an interesting take. But yeah, the voice acting in it in the first season was absolutely brilliant. I thought.
Superb.
Yes, I will be checking that out, Lee. Thank you for
Me too.
reminding me there. What about you, Sammy? What you been watching?
I've not been watching a great deal. I'm back watching my yearly event of Red Dwarf because I
Right.
found that it's now all on the BBC.
On the BBC.
So it's on the BBC, just like I've been on the BBC. But yeah, I'm watching Red Dwarf. But what I did watch the other night, which, oh gosh, was To Catch a Copper.
All right.
Yeah.
You did rant in our group chat while you were watching that because it was like shout at the screen maddening.
If you want 45 minutes of pure rage, I'd suggest you watch that program. It's the same kind of setup as 24-hour in police custody, but it is police, and just showing you how not corruption or not corrupt, but how it is just some people are just awful, man. They don't deserve to have that kind of job. They've just got no compassion or anything. It's not a nice program.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Who watches The Watchmen, eh?
Hey, that's a spoiler for something to come later as well. So yes.
So that's really all I've been watching. I'm just back to Red Dwarf and getting Rage for the Channel 4.
All right. Well, I'm back on a Dexter kick after last week's episode. I've kind of continued watching on, just because once you start watching Dexter, it's like a drug. You just don't want to, like, you need to go on the journey for it. But and I thought, because I'd said I'd wait a few episodes in to give you an update on the most fantastic TV show of all time. All 13 seasons of it. I can't believe it's got 13 fucking seasons. I'll tell you that. Moonshiners, yes.
It's back.
It's back. So I've watched 4 episodes in. Basically, Mike, the little dickhead who I didn't like last season, is back, but he's having to team up with Richard because they had a bit of a feud last season. They were going on each other's patch. And one of the head moonshiners, like the big boss man, it's like the fucking mafia now. It's like embarrassing. Had a meeting with them and said, "You two have got to work together, otherwise you can't work in our county." And they're like, "Oh no, our customers are in this county," and they're like, so they're like clashing heads and being all entertaining and stuff.
Boss Hog, does he tell them they can't make
pretty much
in the county?
Pretty much. You know the 2 old blokes that Sammy liked. Tickle and one of them has been diagnosed with a blood disease and he hasn't got long to live.
Oh,
so some sad news there. So he's decided that I don't know if it'll be kind of shocking if they've made a show like just made up for the show, but they've decided that with him not having much long to live, they're going to make the biggest ever moonshine run that's ever been known. So they're basically going around and getting it like it's like the fucking Avengers of moonshiners. They're getting a team of
moonshiners assemble.
They're getting a team of moonshiners in to like make this like big batch of moonshine. They've just
gonna blow up, isn't it? Oh.
They've just.
This is how it ends. It's moonshiners.
But yeah, so that's been my entertainment for the last week. But honestly, it's so weird because it's like they do the little warnings now before. It's like, please do not do moonshine in your own backyard. It is illegal and you can die.
Yeah.
Well, now you just want to make us want to do it even more now. So
yes,
let's go.
I'm so lucky I got back here on the podcast for the moonshine update 2024.
2024, yes.
We'll just do a full episode on moonshiners one day. I'll make everyone watch it.
Just lock us in a room, and then we'll do the podcast afterwards.
And just see everyone's faces just like absolutely hating me, and just like, yes, Paul, we watched it, and I'm just sitting in the corner with a black eye. It's like, yeah. The day that Sammy lost her rag with me.
We'll drink moonshine, and it'll be like the McPoyle wedding.
The thing is, I've never tasted moonshine. The way they talk about it, I really want to try it, but I don't know what.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're not a drinker though.
I know, but
you'll be on the floor.
I got a jar of it for Christmas one year, but like off my mum, and no, it was sat in my fridge for ages, and I just completely forgot about it, and I don't know what happened to it. Bex probably threw it out.
Might be still there. Might be in the back of the fridge. Let's go and have a look. Let's have a wander back into the back of the fridge of Lee's.
It worries us drinking a jar of something, though, to be fair.
Let's make our next meetup really interesting.
To be fair, though, with our beards now, we could pass as moonshiners now, so we can do it.
And speak for yourselves.
There's female moonshiners as well, as you find out during it as well. But yes,
slap some dungarees on Sammy.
I can pull that off, but like flannel shirt and everything. I can pull that up.
Just get the banjo out. So yes, do you want to do your disclaimer, lovely lady?
Yes, I will. So Everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook page, Discord, or the comments section, where we can have an open discussion. But we won't have anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes,
Here.
very well here. And we are spreading that message far and across the universe, the podcast world, and the interweb. Like I say, we're taking over Twitter, we're taking over other people's podcasts now. So as Jake guested on a Transformer podcast the other week,
That
and if you
was so
Yeah.
cool.
Transformers, the show, they're called. They've got like 200 odd episodes. They're doing really well. But yeah, awesome guys. If you like figures and stuff and want to know what's coming out and what you can spend your hundreds of pounds on, what masterpiece collections,
Yes.
check them out.
and
so
Goodwill
cool.
Goodwill is trekking across the universe, doing his best to be on every single Star Trek podcast that the world has ever
Hey.
made, and I
Yeah.
am loving it and living for it. So well done,
He's always
Captain
in that
Goodwill.
transporter room.
Yes.
Never at home anymore.
Ready to go.
Yes. So
So,
the movie we're here to talk about.
God.
So Lee,
Yeah.
give us the introduction, because I think you would do it best, Lee.
Today we're talking about Robocop.
What bad motherfucker.
yes, I'd buy that for $1.
Can I just start this off by just talking about the first thing that pops up before the film even starts is the warning, which just says violence, substance abuse, smoking, sexual content. And I don't even think that does it justice. The
Boiling,
whole film is
bubbling
just
red.
fucked. It's
And that-
fucked up from start to finish.
Yeah.
And
It-
that
Is that
needs more of a warning.
is that a warning, or just basically saying we think you should be doing these things while watching this movie? Is it like is it like a guide for the movie to try and understanding what you're going to experience? So yes, I remember
Well-
watching this far too young, far too
same.
young.
No, actually, I say far too young. It was literally a couple of years ago, and I've just watched it again for the second time today. So, not too young. But before we get into the nitty gritty of it, can I give you the tagline for this movie?
Right.
I
Yes.
think I
You're
think
gonna
I can
fucking-
remember.
You are gonna fucking love it. It's amazing.
I
Right.
think I
So-
remember it, but yeah, shoot.
The future of law enforcement. Part man, part machine, all cop.
Yeah.
Mm.
He is
Love it.
really, when you think about it, like Murphy doesn't really have much of a character other than he's like the nicest cop in like the broken down
Detroit.
precinct.
Yeah. He's
And,
got
like,
his
the
little
only-
he's got his little cowboy move that he likes to do. That's
Yeah, like the only thing he can bond with his son on. Like, can you do that, Dad?
But yes. As I said, I can remember watching this for the first time. Just like, I'll be honest, I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. All I was like, say, 4 was towards the end when we got like the robot on robot action type thing. And for many time, like when I was younger and a bit stupid, I actually preferred Robocop 2 for some reason. I don't know
you
why.
like the war on drugs more as a kid, did you?
Possibly. But as an adult, when I've watched it back and watched all the movies, because there is a few movies and a TV show as well, the first one, it's so cleverly done, and I think it was Paul Verhoven. I'll try and
Yeah.
pronounce it better.
Yeah.
Who directed it? Who's done some interesting choices
Interesting. Very interesting choices. Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Which, Total Recall.
Mm-hmm.
Blade Runner.
Mhm.
And my
Blade Runner?
personal favourite.
He didn't do Blade Runner.
He had something to do with Blade Runner.
Right.
He was on
Um,
set and it gave him influence for Robocop.
Was it
Didn't it?
that?
All right. That's
But however, my favourite, Showgirls.
yes.
Yeah.
Which is more sci-fi in this movie will ever be. So yeah.
It's not sci-fi anymore, Robocop. It's too real.
That's the one of the points
Oh,
I was going to mention as well.
I
'cause-
feel like this is a very unrealistic movie. It's like so far fetched. I mean, come on, corrupt policemen and greedy corporations.
Yeah, and
That's,
having
we don't
having
have
to
that
work,
in real life.
having to work after you're dead.
Yes.
Yeah, can I ask a question straight off the bat while it's like fresh in my head? Did he sign a contract to say you can take my body after I've died as part of this program, or did they just simply steal him?
I think
Apparently,
I think the story is OCP owns the police precinct. It's like it's as if governments have like privatized everything,
Right.
which fun again, ripped from the headlines. So I think like OCP, yeah, like yes, he probably did sign that contract, but he probably didn't read the Robocop
fine print.
clause.
Probably wasn't something there saying we own you, mind, body, and soul type thing. Again, with the like say the callbacks to this film as well, what I did love about it, and again, it's probably like as you said, you get similar things with Starship Troopers, is the kind of like the TV adverts or the news reporters and the things like they go on like they're talking like smiling through some horrific news talking about like nuclear war apparently coming I can't remember the country now, and then like say there's an advert for a game later on about and
Yeah.
it's called Nuked or something like that, and it's like so being very playful with scary thing, but as Jake said, it's all about like
today in news, everything's fucked.
yes,
Why are they so happy about it?
it's just scary, and
It's the one thing I love about it though. It's actually I think it's got like its setting is like obviously this came out like late 80s, right? But its like concept is very sort of in my mind like 70s, you know, like how like you had stuff like Taxi Driver and stuff where it was like you know, the crime is like the crime spree in the city. It's like very much like that, like how people used to talk about like New York back in those days
Back
about
in the
being
80s,
just
yeah.
like crime ridden. And it's very much like that. They've just like picked Detroit and they're just like it's like a war zone out there. Like the roaming gangs rule the area. It's like it's another one of those things where you're like, how do normal people live in this city where there's just like roaming like future
It's very
gangs?
Judge Dredd, isn't it?
yeah, I was
It's
going to
like
make
Judge
that.
Dredd's watched that. It's like Judge Dredd watched Iron Man and went, "Oh fuck, I'm going to try that."
Yeah, it is incredibly influenced by Judge Dredd. There's like no qualms, like or hidden secret about that. So
Yeah.
I found that but I saw that straight away. I think I've seen Judge Dredd more than I've seen this movie too.
True, he even has like a special pistol just for him.
Yeah, which was I've got a little fun fact about that. The FBI had to clear that gun
All right,
Yeah.
because it's a modified gun. So it is still an actual because even though it's a prop gun, it was
Yeah.
still modified that the FBI still had to clear it
all
for it
right.
to be used.
Just to make sure they're not making anything that shouldn't be out in
So-
the world.
Exactly.
It would be an interesting gun to have out, but Jake, I think you touched on a good point as well, like the setting and the tone of the film as well. I think the movies of the time, and especially from like late 70s to even like all the way through the 80s, like it was like fear mongering that gangs and that crime was going to basically be like the end of America or the end of society as we speak it, and that's what the tone of this movie is. It's like the fear mongering that it's going through, but then you've got the big corporations, OCP, isn't it? That's got right.
Yeah.
Omni consumer products.
Yeah. Basically, because there's that many different ones, I always get confused with Wayland for some reason as well. But they're basically kind of pushing it because they want this new utopia that they can see that they can kind of mold in that what they think the world should be or what they want to be, like to make money and like to change it. But even from the start, because like it doesn't ease you in nicely. It's not like we're going to take you down a nice little journey. Like the start when they're in the boardroom and chaos just fucking happens when like say they're having the meeting and they say, okay, this is going to be the next thing in law enforcement and the next thing in like say in army recruits as well.
Like the
This
scariest
robot
thing
shot
you
this
can
unarmed
imagine.
man. It's ready. It's ready. This perfectly represents the police.
It's like literally the scariest thing you can imagine as well. It's like a giant faceless mech with two machine gun arms,
Yeah.
and it's like you would not like. There is no world where you would be like feel safe with this thing walking around.
Absolutely not.
Can I just say, for the designs of the designs as well, like the design of Robocop himself was absolutely beautifully done, and like so iconic, and draws your eye to it as well. And as you said, the tank that they fucking did, I'm not going to try and say the code because I'll totally show myself up. But
just call him Ed.
Ed.
It's Ed 209.
That is just brilliantly, and I don't think many sci-fi, like a sci-fi film especially, have made better looking robots than this, or more realistic looking robots. Because when they're using CGI now, it's kind of got that fake gloss over, and it's kind of like almost looking like it's rubbery as well. But these, like Robocop, I don't know how they did that. I know they used it to like all the models and stuff. You do, and gives your hand in.
It actually, do you know what? This this episode lovingly ties in great with our monsters episode on can't think of his name now, Rick Baker. The guy who is the makeup artist, special effects and designer and creator of everything that you've just been talking about is Rob Bottin, and he is the protege of Rick Baker. He is the guy who brought you the thing.
Right.
Whoa, really?
Yes, he is the guy who brought you the thing. He is Rick Baker's protege. He made this by hand.
Fuck off.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a stop motion model in some
stop motion
scenes.
model.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were talking about Robocop. I was like, all them bits, like
all them.
It's only like that big or something, isn't it?
Yeah, Ed 209's tiny, but Robocop's suit is genuinely a suit. It absolutely nearly killed Peter Weller to be in it. He lost 3 pounds every day by just being in the suit. That's why when he looks so incredibly slim, when you see him at the beginning, because he's already shot all the suit parts, it was so hot in there. He was in that suit. Every little bit, every little thing that you see sticking on is made by Rob Bottin and his team.
Amazing.
That's awesome, because like you're right, like the way how it's stop motion, it actually cleans up really well in like the Blu-rays and stuff, where CGI doesn't always. Sometimes like it looks great when they do like the HD pass over it. But yeah, I remember watching like the Robocop Blu-ray and thinking like, whoa, like Ed 209 looks like super clean. Like I just didn't really understand how they did it. It looks like even more real somehow. But yeah, like hearing it's a model, it still doesn't take away the fear when it's actually on screen. Like I don't know what it is about it. Like it might have just been seeing it way too young, and I get like it does have like a lion's roar as well, which doesn't help.
The voice behind it is pretty terrifying.
Yes.
But his actuality is about that big.
But
He's not that big.
The only thing I did question about it is like, I know it's hilarious when you watch it back now, is when he falls down the stairs and he's on his back and he's like, it's like, would a robot really make that type of noise? It would be like, you can hear the gears go around and trying to get back up, but it wouldn't be like screaming like it's in pain.
They
like
use
it's
like a leopard noise or something for it.
It's definitely like a big cat noise for sure, like a stock noise.
Maybe they just got Lee in there and tickled Lee and made Lee make Lee noises.
Yeah, I go back and forth, on like should the robots like make like Godzilla kaiju noises, because it happens in like Metal Gear Solid as well, and it works in Metal Gear. I feel like again, I think the Metal Gear Rex is very like Ed 209 influence, because like Kojima's a big movie guy. He doesn't talk about it very often, but there's a lot of movie references in all of his like video games. And yeah, I don't know how I feel. I think like a little goes a long way with the roars and the animal noises with your mech robots.
Love it.
But and I think with the movie as well, and again with most movies like that, is kind of like set to a bit like not to the ridiculous levels where like of fantasy and stuff. It lives and dies with the bad guys.
Oh,
and now
the guys behind Jake.
Well, it's not just them. Like the whole movie, the whole movie is full of just arseholes and bad guys. Like it's when you're watching the movie, you're trying to find the good guy in this.
Yeah, it's just Lewis pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, she is adorable.
There is one other person that I do love, who I do think is actually a good guy. Oh, Johnson. Donald Johnson, the black guy
Yeah.
in the directors.
Oh yeah, that way he's just like tastes like baby
he look-
food.
Oh,
Knock
the
yourself
way he
Yeah.
was smiling at the
He's
end
such
when
a
it all
nice
went
guy.
off.
And I read that he's like wrote a backstory for his character when like acting in this role, that he had to go home every night and drink his sorrows away because of all the bad things that he has to let slide in order to like keep his job in this company.
But who was your favourite bad guy in this? I know it's probably going to be the most obvious question to ask there.
Good old Red Foreman Boddicker.
Foreman, man.
He's always Clarence to me. This was the first place I ever saw Kurtwood Smith. It's like, personally, I quite like the guy who makes Robocop. I'm blanking on his name. Like, the
Miguel
guy with...
Ferrer.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Dick Clark?
No,
Dick Jones.
Dick Jones was
Dick Jones.
the CEO guy, but then you get the
Yeah.
guy below him who had the worst hairline that's been seen in a movie in a long time. Let's be honest.
I like what I like about him is like he's probably the most like pathetic bad guy in the whole movie, because all he wants to do is like get ahead in the company, and like he like screws people over, he like talks behind people's backs and gets like caught, and then he's like obviously he messes with like the absolute wrong CEO in Dick Jones, who's got an army like of gang members behind him.
When that guy comes out the toilet, that guy pisses all over his own pants, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm going back to work. Clean yourself up, man."
I missed that as a kid as well, though. When I saw it back now, I was like, "Shit!" He was that nervous and scared. That just shows you how well, like, say, or how scary Dick was in that company, because the other corporate people were scurrying out and running away from, like, say, out of the bathroom. So that's when you knew bad shit was going to happen or something was going to go down, and it was quite interesting.
Gets himself blown up, pretty much.
Yeah,
as he was having one of his apparently normal drug-fueled cocaine nights.
It was all the rage Friday in the 80s. Friday night in the 80s is like, yeah, let's just get two models, as he put it, round, who were fighting over to have like some time with them out, which made me feel extremely uncomfortable.
He's not the most attractive man. Like his money would definitely be the only thing that would be driving them to.
Yeah.
But Miguel Ferrer is quite an interesting person. He has a connection to Dominique Dunn, the girl from the Poltergeist who got murdered. He was actually there that night.
All right.
He was in the house while it was happening outside. Kind of panicked, didn't really know what to do. He was also Brandon Lee's best friend and was his pallbearer at his funeral. So Miguel Ferrer is incredibly interesting, but incredibly creepy in this movie.
Yeah,
he's an absolute slime ball.
A lot of these guys got the Twin Peaks job because David Lynch liked this movie as well. Because like this guy right behind me is Leland Palmer.
Dad.
Yeah, Laura Palmer's dad, the one who's like, "Dad's with me." It's a totally different character.
He's also
Which
Robert
one's this
Chbosky's
Antonowski?
dad.
I'm not
The
sure.
one that looks like young Bill Burr.
No, that's him.
The one with the hair.
Yeah, he normally plays. He normally
plays.
Yeah, he always plays a bad guy. He was a devil in Reaper and stuff like that.
He's very famous for like his Twin Peaks role, and yeah, Miguel shows up there as like the annoyed FBI agent who hates like the small town country police force. He's excellent in Twin Peaks as well. But yeah, like I love like this bad guy team behind me is pretty much my like like top time action movie like group of bad guys, because I think you've got everything. Like you've got the guy in the beret who just like laughs at everything, like like he's like jokerified.
And he doesn't get to keep his car for long, bless him.
No. And then you've got Emil, who's like your super like loose cannon, like because he just like decides to like knock over like a petrol garage like for no reason, and just like is really horrible to that guy.
I'm picking him because hey, college boy, do you think you can outthink a bullet? I was like,
yeah, because he sees him reading, and he's just like he's like, what are you reading? And like he's like lifts it up to the window. He's like, oh, you a college boy? And it's like, oh god, like. He's just like the guy that you just can't put a foot wrong near because like anything will like set him off. And then obviously like you've got Clarence. I don't think the other guy does much. The Leland Palmer, he's just kind of there to laugh along with everyone.
He just laughs a lot.
But then you've got Clarence, who is like one of those characters you rarely get anymore, where there's just no, like, he doesn't have any like backstory, like redemption backstory.
No
He's just,
redeeming
like,
features or anything like that. No.
He's like just one of those like massive bastards who seems to have like contempt for like all life. Like,
Well, he hates the cops.
yeah, he's a
You're right.
cop killer.
Cop killer. But they kind of set the stage, like, well, they set everything in motion at the start with him as well. When you're in the van and he's given the instructions, it's like they said, "Oh, we can't outrun a cop car," and he's like, "Don't want you to outrun them. I just want you to slow down so we can blow the shit out of them." And then when one of his gang kind of takes a hit, and he's like, he doesn't even bat an eyelid. He's just like, "Okay, can you fly, Bobby?" They get one of the more immortal lines that comes out of RoboCop, and then you're just like, "What does he mean?" And you like because you've not watched the film, you think, "What does he mean? Can you fly?" And then you realise, "Oh shit!" And then he actually, when they actually do it, and the guy's begging not to be thrown out of the car, but it's just that ruthlessness and again pure evil that we don't always get now in these days, because everyone's got to be like have a sad story or this reason why they're bad or a redeeming feature or maybe like a Thanos where maybe they're right and maybe they're wrong.
Yeah.
But
There's
this
no
one,
question on this
There's
guy.
there's no complex in this guy at all. He's just a pure dickhead.
Yeah.
Have you noticed as well though, like they don't even fall back on the old trope of like, oh well, his henchmen aren't as bad, and if they get a chance, they'll like betray him because it's too far. Like everyone's 100% in with this guy. Like there's no question. There's the only part where it like wavers a bit is when he gets arrested and they're all like out on the town, and then but then as soon as he shows back up again, it's like, oh nope, Clarence is back in charge. Like, don't skip a beat, you know.
there's kind of like a abhorrent feeling to the group as well, because like when the Murphy and Lewis go into the warehouse to not the warehouse, the steel mill or something like that to try and tackle them. Like,
there's a lot of factories that I'm not really sure what are. Like,
well, I still don't understand why the steel mill's got a vat of toxic waste, but again, that movie magic.
It didn't give him that superhero like
vibe.
No, you went more Toxic Avengers. Plus with that guy from X-Men 1, who's like a bag of water.
But now you've said the makeup guy is from The Thing. That scene now makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah. It's all jelly as well. I had a look to see how it was being. They literally just kept pouring jelly over the top of him to give him that kind of gooey exterior. What really got me though is what was actually in it, because the minute he hits the car, he is literally liquid.
Yeah.
There is nothing else but liquid hits that screen, and I'm like, what was
chicken
in that?
soup? Chicken soup and something else. I can't remember what. Maybe noodles. There's something else, but I can't remember what.
Liquid. And
just don't eat the chicken soup that Lee makes us. That's all I'm saying.
The censorship people wanted to take that scene out.
Yeah.
But I think it was Verhoven was like, no, like everybody laughs at that bit in the test screen, and you have to leave it in.
there is a cut of it where it's not in, and I think that's what they use for television.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is like a kind of a cut down version of RoboCop that they would like sling on telly so they could get away with it.
I love as well, like when that happens, like he goes up to like his friend like partway through and he's just like, it's like,
he's like, don't touch me, man.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to be touched by the toxic man.
The toxic man.
No, the blood splatter scenes at the end though really made me laugh, because when Red Foreman gets bites the dust and it's through the neck, it literally just goes. Huh. And it's just like, what was in his neck?
This film's like one of the most squibby films like ever. Like everyone's like just exploding with blood constantly.
That's the thing. What I always like, because I can't I can understand why they wanted that bit cut out, but they didn't have a problem with the Murphy scene being like his origin story, shall we say, when he's
Yeah.
cutting the like say in the gang and they've got them pinned down. It's almost like it is a torture scene, and it's so brutally and slowly done as well, and how he's picked apart. And
Yeah.
it's like when he starts off with the hand, and you see his hand fully removed, and
It's
again,
horrible that was like burned into my childhood brain. Like I
When
think
his
I used
arm
to
comes off.
Yep.
Yeah, I
It's
think I used to
hilarious, though.
hide. I think I used to hide from it when I was a kid. Like I didn't want to look at it.
As well, like anytime they seem to be getting shot, things exploded on him. Bless him.
Yeah, he didn't stand a chance.
But the amount of times he gets shot, and then the headshot as well at the end is one of the more brutal headshots that I've seen in cinema. Because I know you see where they look fake, that one looked realistic as fuck, and again, very well done to the makeup artist who did that. But when she goes over to see him lying there, and he's like, he's breathing. It's like, fuck, will he be still breathing through all that? Like,
No.
come on.
I was writing stuff down as I was watching it, and I was like, how is he still standing? How is he actually not writhing in more pain? He is really not screaming realistically when he's. I mean, don't get us wrong, I've never had my hand blown off, so I don't really know what that feeling is. But I can imagine it would sting a little bit.
He just does that
And-
Peter Weller like,
Oh,
oh.
no.
Isn't it a mannequin or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, I'm sure-
it's like
yeah.
it's part mannequin, part him. Just like the whole film, really.
Apparently, though, when
Robocop.
they made the film, the mannequin was that realistic. It actually disturbed him to see him getting shot because he felt like it was quite realistic.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
It would, wouldn't it?
At least they used a mannequin for him. The poor guy that gets shot in the boardroom by Ed 209, he had over 200 squibs on him, and he said every single one, when it went off, felt like getting punched.
Oh,
And he filmed it, and then he had to come back a couple of days later because they needed to film it again. something didn't go right.
I would have been like, yeah, he's gonna have to shoot me in the back. I'm not doing the front again.
Wow.
get some danger money for that one.
What I really loved about his death scene though was the fact that they kept his eyes open all the way through.
Yeah.
I was so, and his jaw kind of like he really did get the realistic look of like, oh yeah, like death is coming, because like your eyes will permanently stay open, and they stayed open in the operation room. And the only time that they closed is when, and I love these bits, is when we're seeing a point of view from him.
Yes.
When they're creating, that is so fucking good.
And it was so well filmed as well, and like a brilliant idea, and it just shows you how like they didn't treat him as a human anymore. They kind of like saw him as an object. It was like, oh, like when she says, I was managed to save his arm. He's like, why the fuck have you saved his arm? We don't want his arm. We don't want any humanity left on this aspect. But that always raises the question as well, as why did they leave the face on there if they didn't want like humanity or thing? I know aesthetically it looks amazing, but if you were going to go the full robot, you would just take the brain and the brainstem type thing.
I don't know, like they don't really say it, but do you think it's like that they want it to be like a human element when he's talking to like people? Because he's like a step, like he's not a walking battle tank like Ed 209. Like they want him to be like, because like there's later on when he's like, would you like me to notify a rape crisis center and stuff? Like he has like
Not very human.
So compassionate.
No, but like he has it, like he has that stuff programmed into him, and I think like is that what they were going for? Like it needs like a human touch. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, why don't they just shoot him in the mouth? Like stupid things that kids think. Like it's like, well, that would ruin the movie. Jake.
He would catch the bullet in his teeth. That's what Robocop would do.
Well, he might be metal under there for all we know. It might just be like Bill and Ted 2, where there's like robot stuff underneath.
No. Well, I was.
Oh, do you not like that part?
I was expecting something gruesome when he goes to take his visor off. And he's like, "You're not gonna like what's under here," and I was like, "Well, what the fuck is under here?" Like,
just sort of
your
Darth
mouth
Vader.
looks fine. Like, what's going on up the above bit? But yeah, I was a bit freaked out. But I only watched this a couple of years ago. Literally.
Yeah, no, but like, and the way they described Robocop as well, like I love the description. They always said, "Oh, he's going to be the ultimate like machine. He's going to have the best reflexes, the most agile, and like say, but also having like the experience of being a 10-year cop on the beat as well." So that was the whole premise of it. But when you see Robocop out in the streets, What? How the fuck were they thinking he was agile? I'm sorry. It's like
I must say, I love the noise he makes when he walks,
Yeah,
and you
it's
can
so
hear his
good.
feet kind of like sticking to the floor as he's going to like make sure he's stabilized. I love that.
Yeah.
What got me though is when he's doing his beat job. How many people he arrested? No fucker in the car.
I know
No
he's
one
just
there.
he's just bouncing to the next
What did
spot.
he do? Just leave them there.
yep.
Yeah, no, that's a class scene though, Sammy. Like when like none of the policemen have seen him, like they just see like
Yeah.
the stuff being brought in, you know, like all the machinery and stuff, like his chair and things like that. And then like you just hear the footsteps and like everyone's like trying to look around like to see him, and then they all kind of like they're in the firing range, like trying to get a look in at him. And like everyone goes quiet, like when he starts like, you know, taking the
What
thing
got
down.
me is when they're in the shooting range and he's got a modified gun, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's amazing!" And in my head, I'm like, "Well, you would be too if you were shooting that gun. Like that's what's making him amazing is the gun." I do love the scene. Just we rewind or fast forward a little bit. Rewind, yeah, rewind a bit forward.
Be
When
kind.
he's be kind when they are when they've done the whole putting them together and they're having New Year's celebrations, and he's
Oh,
just about
yeah.
to get up, and we're
He gets the
still in
kiss
his
on his eyeballs.
he's walking forward, and we still don't get to see him, but if you look in a mirror to the side, you can just see him walking past. And what I say is to Anthony, we were watching it today, this movie has some excellent still shots in it. Some really beautiful movements of just him just walking along. And there's a few at the end where he's walking across like a balance, like high up bit, and he's walking across, but it's quite slow motion as well. It's like not really fast moving. There's some absolutely beautiful scenes in here.
Yeah, I think it's like a testament to how much they've worked on like the outfits and stuff, because they're not afraid to show it. Like they're not like hiding him or anything. Like you see him, like you see like full body shots quite often. Like fair enough, you don't see him like climbing in and out of his car or anything. Like
You
he
can't,
looks
because
weird.
he can't get in and out of the car.
Yeah.
I was in his
wouldn't let him.
underpants.
Oh really? Just
the first time the tester tried it on him, and he got stuck.
oh,
So they had
no.
to remove the bottom part. So you'll never see him get in and out the car with a full
Yeah.
suit on. And when he is in the car, he's got knee bottoms on.
So he's perfect for a podcast.
He really is.
So those footsteps, like the sound amazing and iconic, but I need to fast forward just a little bit to just get rid of some of his skills that aren't there. Like you said, he was this powerful, agile super cop. Robocop 2, right? So sorry, I am fast forwarding quite a bit here. But he gets out of his car and rolls it into this compound, and it blows up, and all the bad guys come up going like, "Oh, he's dead." Meanwhile, he's sneaking through the factory like, it's like, your stealth isn't part of your programming, Robo.
No.
What are you doing?
He wouldn't be good on Metal Gear Solid, put it that way.
No, he's there to be like a shooting gallery video game. Like he sees all the men pop out and be like, nah, and then he's like, tick, 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 like with his little cursor thing, and then he just gets them.
But no, and I love the little things that they keep in the movie as well. It's kind of like foreshadowing as well, because when you see like what are your operates, and he says to protect the innocent, to uphold the law, and it's get I can't say it now. Operation 4.
Yeah.
Secret, classified. I was like, "Ooh, what's that
like,
gonna be on?"
And I like it because he tries to access it a few times, doesn't he? And like it just kind of goes all like glitchy or blinks away, and you're just like, all right, okay. But yeah, like it's an interesting one, like because when Sammy said like he got inspiration from Blade Runner, like I can see it, but like RoboCop's a lot more like heavy-handed, isn't it? Where it's like he's a machine, and he starts to realize he's a machine. Like his memories start bleeding back in, and he like goes to like his old house where I guess they've like immediately sold and moved away. And
she got up with that really quickly, didn't she? I mean, she got up, moved on. But we were wondering today, and I don't know if any of you can answer, the time lapse between the accident and him actually becoming RoboCop, because if it was you know, the length of what we're looking at in a movie, we're kind of like just thinking it's instantly just happened as soon as he's getting, you know, off the table, and they've got like a pulse.
I think they
It
said
must be
in the boardroom, they said we can get this up and running after we've had a test subject within 90 days.
Right.
Yeah. Like there might be some more info you can glean, like, you know, if they say like when he joined, like when he came to Detroit or whatever. But I guess what like them doing the New Year's party is them trying to like show us like time is passing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's an odd one because he obviously like goes back to his home. It's a good scene though, because what's happening is the sort of like an automatic like realtor showing him around the house, like as he walks into the rooms. It's like, so he's getting kind of like flashes of like, okay, I remember this, and then it's like snapping him out of it. It's a really cool idea to do. Like I don't, obviously no one could do it now because they'd be ripping it off. But
yeah, it's already
like
been
interesting.
done.
I liked it. But yeah, it's not on like the cerebral level of like Blade Runner. Like Robocop's like smacks you in the face with its themes like constantly.
There's not much subtly done in this, shall we say?
Was it Lewis? Was it Lewis who started to jog his memory? Do you think, or do you not think she actually had any influence whatsoever? By just because they really panicked when they were like, "What did you say to him? What have you said?" And she was like, "I just said, how like do you know your name?" And
I think she like breaks. Like I think she
humanizes
like, domino.
them.
They have the first instance where he dreams because like they weren't expecting that, and then when he's going out, he's trying to process like what's happening, and then she kind of brings it back to him, I think.
Right.
So it's kind
actually, because the dream thing is funny. The internet's ruined that scene though because they've made a GIF of it where it looks like he's up to bad business. But
damn you, internet!
Yeah, but I like it because it reminds him Clarence exists, and then he's like, no, I'm going out for a revenge right now, and like everyone's like, where's he going? Like he just like leaves when he's not supposed to. And is that the part where they're in another factory that is making drugs?
There's
and he just basically like
this.
He just like tosses like Clarence out of like the foreman's window because they always have that little room with the glass window. It's
not just one. I think it's 3 windows he puts him through as he's reading them to write. You can tell he's pissed. He's like, it's like police brutality, but who would you charge in the police brutality? It's like he's a machine.
Or CP, I guess, but that he works for Dick Jones.
Dick's for Jones,
as he tells us.
Yes. But Dick Jones makes the ultimate rookie mistake as well in this movie. Like you think a corporate CEO of his power and knowledge wouldn't fucking cut a DVD with his plan to murder someone on.
Yeah.
It's like when the villain tells you your plan just before they're gonna try and kill you, and it didn't actually work out in that way. It was exactly like that. Just he fucking recorded it.
Yeah.
Silly bastard.
Yeah. I don't know though. I like his like pageantry of it. He's like, okay, Clarence, you're gonna go shoot this guy in the leg. Then you're gonna play the videotape. Then you give him the grenade, and then you're out of there.
That's a lot of moving pieces just to get someone.
But
someone who's going to immediately die and not appreciate your like evil videotape ever like anymore.
And can I just say that the Robocop had the best ever USB drive ever. That thing where the spike comes out and he puts it in.
I was like, he's fucking R2D2 just with a little bit more. That was such an R2D2 move, and I was like, what is this? Spike.
It's called a scomp link in Star Wars. That's a great word.
Well done, Jim. I love that.
That was always cool when it was on the toy, because in some of the Robocop toys back in the day,
toys.
It had that where you could pull out like a rubber thing out of his hand. Like
it was rubber?
Usually, yeah. Oh, has Paul got one?
Oh, you got him!
No, I've got the Necker one.
Right.
You were saying he's slightly fragile.
He's very fragile. Like he's got a button here. See if it works here. So anyone that audio listens, I've got a Robocop toy. I'm going to press his leg button.
We've got to be more descriptive on audio for audio listeners because we sometimes don't do that.
So, but see if it works.
Brandishing a Robocop at us.
It's not working now. It's broken.
Oh,
yeah.
Please don't break them.
But yeah, it's basically his leg's supposed to open up like it does in the movie, and you put the gun in. But every time you press the button to open it, all them parts like fire out, and you've got to try and put them together. So the mechanism, let's be honest, is a little bit fragile there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this came out in 1987, and this is around about the time movies and toys kind of align themselves together. But
Yeah.
I didn't feel, remember when we did the Batman one and we talked about how toy centric it was? I didn't feel that this one was so much toy centric, but there was so much you could see that could come out of it.
I think after Robocop 2, that's when the toy lines came out because there was so many
Right.
different toys you could get.
Uh-huh.
Like you could get Ed, you could get like Ed, which was absolutely amazing. It's always been done well. Robocop, but they used to. But I'm sure there was a Robocop cartoon at one point. But the computer games and
Yeah.
everything came out as well. That Robocop
You're
versus the
You're
Terminator
right
as
though,
well.
Paul. It took a while because like the RoboCop toys were out when I was a kid, so like they weren't. I don't know if they came out late '80s. I think they took a while, and they were like, the kids would love this RoboCop character.
So messed up, like.
It
It's like
is.
adverts on the telly, and it's like, Robocop's gonna shoot this guy's dick off! Dead or alive, you're coming with me!
It's interesting though, because how it's like they held up a mirror to society, and then they were like, "Yeah, what's your problem?" Like, "Yeah, we're gonna make adverts for RoboCop toys." Like that would be a joke. Like in the movie, it would be like, "Oh, look, it's Death Cop, and he's gonna shoot all the bad guys." Like that would be something they would like, do and be like, "Oh, this is too silly to happen in real life." Like that whole because like the adverts thing, like how influential has that been? Like it's pretty much like Grand Theft Auto's whole like joke for the radio is just like taken straight from RoboCop, and they just made like hours more of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the director's signature things to do. Like Starship Troopers, it starts exactly the same way.
Yeah, it
Because
has
that's
those
what-
like recruitment movies and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
is so good. I must admit, I do like the newscasters. I thought they were absolutely hilarious. So you get him, champ.
Yeah, it's like just the most like basic like what you would what the company would want them to say like for everything. Yeah.
Did you ever? Because I know, like I said, Netflix. There was a great TV show on Netflix where they do episodes called "The Movies That Make Us." They start off with the toys that made us, and one of the episodes was based on RoboCop, and it showed you the stuff behind the scenes. Did anyone actually watch that before?
I did it. Yeah,
see
when it
that
was
episode.
when it was new. Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
I'm surprised this movie turned out as well as it did with the chaos and everything that went on. Like the director was having fist fights with most of the cast.
Whoa!
They were having to get studio executives down because they were blowing the budget left, right, and center because like the money, like he just kept on saying, "I need more money to finish my movie," to the point where they were just like, there's no money left. There were like literally so many issues, things. So for this movie to turn out as well and as amazing as it did, everyone on board with the film was so surprised because they said this was
Really?
probably the most unprofessional movie set that any of these people had worked on.
Yeah, like there was some stories that came out recently, but then like other people have said it's a lie. Where like one of the, I don't know if it was like principal photographers or whoever like sort of looks after everyone on set was saying Peter Weller like wouldn't do his lines unless he got Oreos, and then Peter Weller's like, I don't know what he's talking about. But I don't quite know if I trust Peter Weller because he seems like he is like up there with guys that just want to mess around on set.
Yeah,
He is a dodgy character though. Like
there was everything that I was reading about him was saying he really suffered for his art in that suit. He was genuinely
mental.
yeah, he was genuinely losing like £3 a day by just the heat alone. He had to wear headphones because his hearing was so distorted. He generally couldn't pick up what people were saying, so everything had to be played through headphones to him, so he knew his cues when to come in. But from what I was reading, nobody had a bad word to say about him. If he was being fussy, he had every right to be fussy.
I think the main issues was the director because I think he's notoriously a twat in like allegedly. Sorry.
Peter Weller quit for a while.
First.
Peter Weller did quit, and they had to ask him to come back because the suit was made for him, and nobody else was going to fit in it. And they were like, "Please." please make friends with him again.
So that you can have a jetpack or whatever he did in like
Oh.
Robocop 3 and fight a ninja.
So bad, that film.
I haven't actually seen Robocop 2 or 3, but Anth was like, because he loves this franchise, and he was saying, well, did you know? Because as he does, he tries to like one up us because I'm like reading all this stuff, and he's like, well, did you know there was a Robocop versus Terminator?
Yep.
I was like, what?
There's a comic line and everything. There's
Comic
there's
line.
Predator, Alien, he fights against those.
You can't bite Robocop.
That's amazing.
Predator could probably do some damage, though. I'm not going to say anything about
Yeah.
that matchup.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the comic book link doesn't actually end with it actually going into comic books. Stan Lee was originally asked to write the screenplay for this film,
All right.
and because
Excelsior!
and because he took his sweet ass time to making his decision, they made the decision for him and went, "You're not doing it."
Right.
And
Stan
give it to
Lee's
somebody else.
Robocop would have had a lot more talking, I think. Like,
Oh, there would
like-
have been a lot more dialogue. There would have been a lot more
yeah.
kind of nuance, and like there had to be. You couldn't just have your bad guys versus.
He
your
would
good
have
guys.
he would
There
have
had to
grown
be,
up
like,
as a
all the different
teenage boy,
leanings.
been bitten by a robot and turned into a Robocop. That would have been.
Love you, Stan.
No. If it was actually, if we're going to do a hot take, if it was Stan Lee, he would have been. Oh, he's writing a good idea. I'll steal that. Sorry.
Yeah.
One.
Mr. Leibowitz, we're on to you.
Allegedly,
That's funny,
apparently.
though. I do always like when you hear like the alternate history like stories like that, where you're like, oh, you know, if the butterfly flapped its wings differently that day, we might have had like Stan Lee Marvel Robocop at some point.
Well, Miguel Ferrer actually wrote a comic book for Marvel Comics back in the day, and also Spider-Man 2099? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is based on Miguel Ferreira, and there's a lot of dedication.
Oh, really? Like
character.
that's where his name, like that's where Miguel comes from.
Yeah.
That's dead interesting.
Yeah. He's like I said, he's a really interesting person, is Miguel Ferreira.
Yeah, amazing voice as well. Like it's just like he's just like watching him on screen. Like he pops up every now and then. Like I can't remember what the last thing I saw him in was, but he was like a vice president in some action movie,
Dead,
and I was
he's
like,
dead now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but like I just
Don't worry,
like,
the
that's
Grim
all I-
Reaper will inform us. It's fine.
It's my way of getting that in there, Jake.
No, I did remember that happening, but every time like he shows up for something, I'm always like, oh yes, I'm glued to the screen now.
He's a really good character actor, really good.
Yeah.
He played Dickhead so well.
I know, like we said we were talking about Robocop. I did want to mention the remake as well, because I was very excited when I heard they were actually going to do a modern version, because I thought, fair enough, with what they can do now,
Yeah.
if they went like full Robocop and full like hard as what they could have done, I always thought this could be quite an interesting story, a modern day story to take. Like it's like taking it from the 80s version of what they thought the future was. It'll be interesting to see what from now future is. It was such a missed opportunity, because like as I said, they tried to dumb it down, and they made a Robocop look like a dildo to start with, which just never's going to be it.
They made everything too round and too. Oh no! And it's Joel Kinnaman, isn't it?
Yeah, which is it's sad, because he wasn't bad, and I think he does. Like I like him in things. I love him in like the Suicide Squad, but yeah,
Maybe the only one.
The whole film's just it's too clean, and like this, the original's just gritty and violent for no reason. And they just missed the mark completely. Stupid.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it there, 'cause it was very clean, because you don't think they would need a Robocop in that future, where in the 80s they need something special, because the police are failing, the police are ready to go on strike. With Jake being the union man, he would endorse what they're doing.
I would not endorse a Robocop. He seems like he breaks some union laws about death.
Yeah.
Did this come out about the same time as the remake of Judge Dredd by any chance?
No, it's Judge Dredd. The actual movie, the Stallone one, was 1996.
The remake, though, the one with Carl.
That was like 2010, I think.
It was a little bit after, I think.
Or 2012. 2012 Dread came out.
Right.
So
I'm
I'm just thinking, like, with the
99%
kind of
sure of
like
that.
in leagues with each other, like, there's going to be a new
Definitely.
Dread remake. We're going to do a new Robocop one.
There
and
was a
that's-
new Total Recall as well around that time that nobody
Yeah, there
really
was.
cared for. But yeah, like
and
the
nobody
Robo...
really asked for either.
Oh yeah, like you're right, Paul. I hadn't even really thought about it from that perspective, where it's like RoboCop's an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do your sort of modern day satire, then go for it. But yeah, they didn't really do anything. It was just like an action movie, like really forgettable as well. Like in my like head, I was at the cinema as well. Like I saw this like when it actually came out, but like in my head, I can only picture like the scene where he gets like revealed, and it's like
Yeah.
Michael Keaton going a bit like having his like one scene where he gets to act and like going a bit mad. And don't they just give him like a motorbike as well? And it's like, oh
Yeah,
so
it's
this is your only new idea. Like he has a
This
motorbike.
is how we get around the car situation. You can
Yeah, I
just
guess
straddle
so.
a
Put a
bike.
But because with these type of movies, like I'll not lump it in the same, but like RoboCop and the Terminator, like say iconic 80s movies, like Terminator 2 did it better, like as a sequel. I'd still say Terminator 1 is a better movie. I know
Oh,
me and
yeah.
Neil have a disagreement there when we'll come to that. But the idea and the premise of it is so good that it should work in any type of like situation, or if you just have a little bit of thought when you're putting into it, these movies can work. It's just it seems like the people who are making them don't really understand what they've got. It's kind of like
Yeah.
they're making a Terminator movie, or it's just someone's come back in time to kill someone. No, give us real depths, give us real like genuine like stakes. Same with RoboCop. The reason why like RoboCop made sense then is because the city was at such a stage and needed something so extreme to clean
Yeah.
it up. If the city's not that bad, it's just basically evolving for all like doing something for doing a certain. It's
Yeah.
gonna have stakes and. Like,
Well,
Do you think that's
I don't
like...
think.
Sorry. Yeah, goalie.
Also, I don't think we'll ever get this version of RoboCop ever again, like the gritty, like dystopian future kind of thing. Amazon own the RoboCop rights now.
oh, they got
I had
money, Lee,
mentioned-
as well.
Yeah, but it'll be too clean and nice, just like the one that came
Yeah.
out.
And who does Dick Jones remind you of?
Oh yeah.
That's what I was gonna say as well. Like, do you think it's like something that can't happen anymore because now, like, CEOs have got more power over what ends up in our movies than ever before? Like, are they gonna greenlight the movie where like the Bob Iger stand-in is like the most evil motherfucker in the entire world? It's like, I think this kind of movie it's like it's poking fun at the people paying for it, because like Paul was saying, he was like asking for more money, and they were like, it's almost as like a sad reflection of like, oh yeah, well, corporate took RoboCop, and now you get the bland sequel, like to make toys, and now you get like the bland reboot, which I've been to lots of toy fairs. I have never seen a new RoboCop action figure anywhere,
No.
but
I
the
don't think
old
it's any
ones are
joking
everywhere.
ones. Can
I had mentioned yeah, sorry.
No,
No, come.
Oh, sorry. I had mentioned earlier in the day to Paul and Jake about there was a remake. Oh no, sorry. What's it? Sequel. I forgot the word. A sequel to the first film was going to be in the works like last year, and it was meant to be called RoboCop Returns.
Amazing title.
No, that's not the amazing part.
acquired-
Go on, Lee. Set
Amazon
us
have
up.
acquired the rights, and there's rumors that they're going to be doing a sequel with a new guy playing RoboCop,
Who?
played by John Cena.
Shut
And
the
his
fuck
name
up.
is.
I can't see it. I love John Cena, but I can't see it.
Yeah,
That
You're
is
not making a
incredible.
pun
Is that
there.
true?
so they wouldn't need CGI or to put
That's
metal plates on. They would
online.
just paint them
They
silver.
were just saying it.
The prototype is
that.
back.
I'm wary of everything I
That's a
read
deep cut.
online, but
Thing is that
it's
you'll
just
not be able to see
it's so insane.
It gives him a chance to shave his head, so he won't have the hairline anymore, I guess. But
Oh, I I don't want to think about bald John Cena either, or like John Cena with only a face from like here.
Don't. I want to sleep tonight, man.
Just think of other wrestlers you could cast in Robocop as well. I know I mentioned Batista, but imagine Stone Cold as Robocop. That would be quite interesting. Like walking around.
That's the bottom line because Robocop says so.
He is the bionic redneck. It's not too far.
Oh.
I don't know. Like it's interesting what you were saying, because like in my head I'm thinking like Robocop needs to be a kind of blank slate, but then they tried that with the reboot, and I don't remember that guy in the slightest, so that's bad. Like
Really?
I don't know how you get another Peter Weller, because he's got like his look, you like respect him just by the way he talks and stuff. Like he commands like respect, but also he's like an everyman. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's got a distinctive face, but he's not like super muscly. Like Sammy was saying, he kind of looks a bit gaunt at the start of the film because he's like
really gaunt.
yeah, but like he still gets you on his side with the very few scenes he gets. And it's that weird middle line where you've got to have an everyman who also is like a really like good actor to get you like caring. But yeah, John Cena isn't that for me. He's not an everyman.
No, he's
to be fair,
brilliant. Oh, go on.
with RoboCop as well, like, is the brand damaged for all the stuff that they've done to it throughout the years, or has it been enough time passed since everything that's happened? Because if you talk about the remake, that's fine. That's one of the nails in the coffin. The TV show was god awful. Then remember we got the WCW appearance of RoboCop, where he came in to not wrestle but to save Sting, wasn't it?
Yeah, he like pulled a door off a cage that Sting was in.
So, like I said, RoboCop has been in every facet, and I'm sure, as I said, there's been cartoons, comics.
Yeah, actually, I know one interesting fact about RoboCop. He's quite popular in Japan.
Oh, really?
When he's over there, though, what they've done is like, it's not Peter Weller. It's like a new costume that's chrome, so he's like shiny.
Right.
Same deal though. He actually he does adverts for fried chicken.
No,
like food adverts, and it's like,
no.
but it's like Japanese RoboCop, so it's not like an English voice or anything. And he's like, "Yo, I'm about to eat" and stuff like that, and it's like
just silly. No, don't do an accent, Lee. I saw your face. Don't do an accent.
Do you know RoboCop caught a real life villain?
No.
no.
So when it was airing in the cinemas back in '87, there was apparently some guy trying to evade the police, and this guy went into the cinema and hid in one of the places and got so mesmerized by RoboCop on the screen, like, oh my god, what's this? He didn't realize the police came in, evacuated everybody else, then turned on the lights, and this guy was the only person sitting in the cinema.
Just enjoying RoboCop. It's like, can you at least wait until the film finishes?
I know, yeah. I hope they let him.
Never even got to see the end.
I hope they gave him the closure.
Oh no! Can I ask a question? And I asked this to Ant, and his answer is probably going to be exactly the same as yours. But in our world, in where we live now, is RoboCop, the idea of RoboCop, a good idea or a bad idea?
AI is never a good idea.
I think it depends. The meat inside RoboCop matters. Like if it's a good person, then it might be okay.
I was just thinking, in today's world, could we actually get away with doing something like this, or would world leaders just be like, fuck no, or fuck yes, because it's a domineering.
Tell you what, though,
I think well, like people, like CEOs and world leaders wouldn't bat much of an eyelid if this happened. No. But we're 100% going to see Ed 209 first, and it's not going to be. Like,
I never even thought of that. I'm thinking more RoboCop, but you are right. It probably would be Ed 209. I'm sure some bugger who loved Tony Stark's probably making it somewhere.
It'll be already in the works. There's some fucking mad scientist in the world that'll be like saying, let's put a chicken in a robot first and see what happens there. So we'll get chicken cop. Then it'll be like turn into a dog. Then a monkey. Then it'll go, haha, we've got the monkey tests out the way. We're gonna make a fucking man now.
Ed 209 does kind of have like like bird legs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Those kind of like those
They are-
backwards like knees.
For all he is a bulking machine at the top, he has. You remember the McDonald's toys he used to get, where it was like just like this thing, and then it had tiny legs coming out. He looked like one of them. They should not be able to stand on them legs with that bulk at the top.
Yeah, and he's
Does
got
that
like
make
little
sense?
arms, hasn't he? Like like
Oh
little
my god,
gun
the T
arms.
Rex!
And I'm gonna make the joke now just because I have to. If we do ever get a chicken robot, it'll be Robocock. Just
Okay, gotcha.
oh, Goodwill just got it as well. Damn it! Oh, yeah. See, at least me and Goodwill on the same wavelength there. Bless.
And that it's not affiliated with the TV show Robot Chicken.
No.
Oh no!
I bet they've done some Robocop sketches though, for sure.
I'm surprised
imagine.
because all the send-ups or like the piss takes we get, like if you think about like the scary movie films or like the Not Another Teen movie, why hasn't there been like a proper send-up for like Robocop, like a proper spoof? That would be entertaining, I think.
Like action spoof. They've
Yeah.
not done like an action. I know that like Hot Shots.
Yeah, but like
Pop
imagine
is
like a
that's, like,
robot,
kind of.
but like getting a Robocop style, like a proper spoof Robocop. Where
Yeah,
instead of
that's
like
got some
instead of
legs.
getting a cop, they get like some like idiots that like shouldn't be a cop, and then goes around and just finds himself in hilarious situations. Hollywood,
know-
give me a call.
You might be describing a Simpsons Treehouse of Halloween where Homer gets put in the robot. That's supposed to be
Possibly,
like
yes.
that's supposed to be like the best worker, but they accidentally put Homer's brain in it. And he's
I just got
like-
the thought of, because I'm again when I've been at home, I've been watching Always Sunny, as I always do. Just Dennis Reynolds. Dennis Reynolds
Okay.
being put into the cop suit, it would be a fucking massacre.
Okay, also Always Sunny gang as the bad guys in Robocop.
Oh yes.
Oh
Or
my god, yes! So it's, you remember the psycho friend who turned out to not be actually psycho, it was just them making bullshit up about him.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
Robocop and they're the bad guys.
But like, yeah, like
Psycho Pete.
how has no one cast like the Always Sunny crews like bad guys in a fun action movie yet?
Oh. Imagine Danny DeVito as the Clarence Boddicker. Can you
Yeah.
fly, Charlie?
It's perfect as well because you would be able to do the same joke that they did from, was it like Taxi that he was in?
Yeah.
Where like throughout the whole movie he's like this commanding figure, and then he like gets down off his desk and he like you see like the actual size of him and stuff. They could redo that.
So if we're going to rate the movie,
Oh
Yeah.
because I like to always do read out the rates. So Lee, what would you rate it out of 5?
5, definitely.
Oof.
So nothing you would change in the movie at all.
Not a single thing.
Not a single.
Perfect.
Jake.
Yeah, no, same 5 because it's like a perfect action movie. It's got its like theme, and it like executes on that theme, like whether you think it's like too heavy-handed or not. But yeah, it's like insanely quotable as well. Like nobody's even said like I'd buy that for $1. like the crappy TV show that everyone seems to be watching. That's another like nice little dystopian touch. Like that's the only like TV show
And
anyone cares
I find
about.
it so hilarious, and it's
Nothing's
just,
happening either.
nothing's going on. There's another one at Your Move Creep
Yeah.
and Dead or Alive, You Coming
Come
With
with
Me.
me.
And
Yes.
like one of my favorites is like when Emil's like, "We killed you." Like it's just like it's such a fun thing that he like recognizes him just because he says like the same line.
It's like
I
doesn't
need to use a
compute.
line. I need to use a line for the chat. So just everybody watching, remember, hit that like button or there will be trouble.
He does say trouble funny, doesn't he? Trouble.
What about you, Sammy? What would you give it out of 5?
I would have to say the same as Jake and Lee. There's nothing you cannot. This is it's a great 80s movie. Not that I like to give Paul props on an 80s movie, but it's a really good 80s movie. They don't make them like these anymore. It's got a story, it's got good guys, it's got bad guys, it's got violence, and it's got a guy bubbling away at the end. So it's got
you guys really had like the best lives like when all this was coming out, because like wasn't Die Hard like not long after this as
Yep.
well, like which is
Yep.
also like a pinnacle like best action movie, but like that's more like serious and like grounded. Like
Oh, we had so many like Tango and Cash, like Commando and stuff like that. But yeah, I would probably, as I said, it's very hard to knock this film down for anything because it's one of them films that you think shouldn't have aged well, and it's actually only got better with age, which is surprising to say. But it doesn't treat its audience stupid. It doesn't make it overly elaborate. It doesn't give people stupid backstories. It just basically goes out and says, we're going to make a fun fucking movie about a man dying, or not just dying, getting blown away, getting turned into a robot, and then shooting people in the dick. So what can you not like about the movie?
Is there anything that you wish they expanded on more in the whole film?
It's
Ooh.
not really, because
No.
again, anything that the adds could have taken away from things. Like I know because the second one it kind of gets lost because it expands more on the family. Like he keeps on going to visit her, and it's like, oh, you told me you would stay away, but but like even the boardroom, like it seems interesting. Like I like it that you don't even know the old man's name. Like that's
Yeah.
quite clever and
I
that's
love
quite
him.
interesting.
He's so cold. He's more robotic than Robocop. Like Ed 209 blows that guy away, and he just goes, "I'm very disappointed, Dick."
Yeah.
It's like,
He does the greatest line at the end, though. He does the best Vince McMahon. You're fired.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
that's it. Game over.
That's the loophole Robocop needed to break his
Oh.
Yes.
directive.
Johnson's thumbs up as well, and Robocop's just like,
Hey, boss.
It's like, and he goes to him again, good shooting, kid.
I think
And then
like
smiles.
I think like the only thing I would maybe like more of is, but I understand why they couldn't, is maybe some like more Ed 209 action
Oh,
because
yes.
he does that shooting, but then later on like he just like does his stair fall or like isn't there like two? Doesn't Robocop blow one up, or is that like the second
there's-
movie where he shoots it with the gun?
So there's the one that shoots itself, and it's like accidentally, and it's like it blows up one of its gun turret
Yes.
things. Then it falls down the stairs. Then it basically runs. Then he runs away. And
Oh yeah, it's when he comes back at the end, isn't it? He like
Yeah.
shoots it with that giant gun that they
So,
found.
You would want to see an Ed 209 redemption arc.
No,
where
no,
he-
no redemption,
with the
just more
gun.
horror.
with the super gun.
I know.
That's a super gun.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
You look so happy there with your gun, bless you, man.
Yeah.
He's like,
I think I'm in the same boat where I think the main thing I would like to have seen more of is Ed 209.
Mm-hmm.
But there is also one part of the film which, if this film was made now, this would get elaborated in like a sequel or something. The beginning of the movie, there's a news report, and it's like, the Star Wars program is in development. If that was made now, you know for a fact the next movie would be Robocop in space.
Yeah. Or
Well,
were they
Jason
trying
went
to,
to space, so, you know.
or were they
It
trying to
would-
say that was the Starship Troopers like origin story, like hidden in his
Possibly.
other movie?
That's what they needed to beat them damn bugs. They needed Robocop. That's what they did.
Yeah.
Would have helped.
But
Would
yes.
have massively.
Also,
Um,
one more question. Sorry,
Mhm.
that this has been mentioned a few times by people in the chat about Robocop and the Terminator. Who would
Uh-huh.
win, Robocop or the Terminator?
Yeah,
Terminator.
like-
Difficult choice.
I feel
Terminator.
Arnie's more powerful technically
So-
as a machine.
Yeah, but when at the end of RoboCop, he's lying on the ground and Red Foreman comes over and stabs him, he cries out in pain.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
did that to Arnie, he's not going to cry in pain. He's not going to, because he is pure robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think like Terminator the T-800's like way more of a killer
Yeah.
than Murphy.
I'm Team
I'm going for
Terminator.
Robocop.
No.
Okay, is it the smart? Can he outsmart him?
No, I think it's just as long as he doesn't get into close quarters combat. Terminator 4, like Terminator 4,
Right.
Christian Bale just has that machine gun and he's just firing it at the Terminator close range and he dies.
I know, but the less we
Um,
talk about Terminator 4, the better, I think. Yeah.
Again, I
Yeah,
saw
true.
that in the
But-
pictures. I've made some
And
bad
Robocop
choices.
firing that gun at that target thing,
Mhm.
it absolutely like demolishes it. I feel like he could hit the Terminator in some pretty
Well-
good places and immobilize it.
Put it this way: if you're going to do Terminator thing, if you do the Terminator, the T800 from Terminator 1,
Yeah.
versus Robocop, Arnie would hands down annihilate Robocop without much of a fight. That was a walking, talking killing machine.
Well, I mean, they can both bend to the end of guns, so we know they're
True.
strong.
Because he would walk up to Robocop and say, "I need your boots, I need your, I need your clothes, and I need your bike." And Robocop would say, "Yes, sir."
I prefer Terminator, but I'm still picking Robocop, and I'm losing this because I think I'm losing it 3-1 here.
Would they scan each other with the robot eyes and just decide not to bother fighting because they're like, this is not an organic life form, and they would just like leave each other?
or would it become the greatest love story that we've ever had? It's like robot love.
That's why he's got a mouth. That's why he's still got it. But no, you can do this fight in Mortal Kombat of all video games if you really want. I'm pretty sure they're in the same video game, like Arnold and Robocop. So
it was getting mentioned in chat because there was a Robocop v Terminator game for the Sega Mega Drive.
Yeah, it was terrible. I had it on the Game Boy.
I think you played as Robocop, possibly.
Yeah, because
you didn't play as anyone. It was just a target shooter game, like on a controller.
Right, so they weren't fighting each other.
No, it was like
I recall a platform game where you play as Robocop, and that was just the Robocop
game initially. I think
possibly. Yeah, I remember there was one on Game Boy that has awesome music where it was like a side scroller, but it was really hard. But you could like punch people if you got really close, and it made a really good noise.
To be fair though, out of the games, I think the Terminator 2 game was actually brilliant. Because I remember we had one of the hardest bosses where when you got the end. You had to actually shoot Robert Patrick's T-1000 in certain ways to kill him. You couldn't just blast him where you had to shoot him in his left eye, his right eye, then his face, before he would fall back into the lava.
Take that, Robert Patrick.
Yeah. But yes.
Do you think you know when you were saying about like the mannequin and how he kind of got freaked out because he saw it being shot? Do you think people like celebrities have that with video games where they're like, "Oh no, like Scorpion's like ripping my eyes out," like when Arnie plays Mortal Kombat?
It can't feel good. I can say it must. Like, it'd be one of them things where you get the ego boost. Yes, I'm in a computer game. Oh shit, they're ripping us apart. Oh no, this is my worst nightmare coming to truth.
Oh no, the model has leaked and now there's like dancers and stuff like that. Oh no, I'm in Fortnite.
Why am I being teabagged? Sorry. Nightmares of a New Year's Eve party happening all over again. But yes. So anyone got any other little tidbits or anything you want to add about RoboCop?
No, I got all mine out. Thank you for letting us get all them out. And also, apologies for the behaviour of my dogs this whole episode.
That's fine.
They have honestly been riding my last nerve to the point where I have just thrown a book at one of them.
That's fine. Be careful, they'll come back as a robo dog and fuck you up as well. So,
it'll be my fucking luck.
Jake looks like he's pondering a thought there.
No, I was just thinking, but I think I've said everything I need to say. I think the world has said what it needs to say on RoboCop, and they probably shouldn't make any more stuff with him.
Leave it as it is. It's a brilliant movie. It's one of those films where it gives you the warms and fuzzies because you're in that 80s world of great movies.
Yeah, and that, like Paul hit it on the head perfectly. Like, if you don't get the joke, like someone should stop you from making a RoboCop movie. Like, if you're not in on the thing, which is like, corporate oversight is bad. Like, like you need to have that satire element. Otherwise, like you're just making an action movie. Like you're just doing the thing OCP was trying to do, just make a RoboCop.
You're just making a robot shoot shit for no reason or for no purpose at all. And again, movies do have to tell a story, but it's also got to have a soul as well. And it's one thing. I know it sounds strange talking about a RoboCop movie. The first one has a lot of soul.
Yeah.
Has a lot of heart. It's got a great.
That Tin Man got his heart there, so it's fine.
It's very Frankenstein, isn't it? It's like a man rebuilt and just wanting to be accepted.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sounds a lot
is,
like
yeah.
you, Lee.
And the same thing happened with Boris Karloff as it did to Peter Weller.
Mhm.
They ended up quitting because the makeup was shit, and they couldn't
And they
keep
got-
they couldn't keep doing it anymore.
Yeah, or they got like typecast because I can't
Yeah.
imagine people were like having him back for like, oh, do you want to do this serious role? It was probably like, oh, we saw you in Robocop. Do you want to shoot a gun again?
You want to get some become a robot again, but yeah,
He ends up in Dexter as just a different kind of cop, doesn't he? Like
Yeah.
a crooked cop. Like, you know, it's like
Why can't I be a romantic lead?
you haven't got the face for cinema, kid. Just deal with it. But yes, so yes, thank you guys for staying with us as well. Like I said, it's nice seeing a few new faces and new names pop up in the chat. Sorry we haven't integrated with you too much, but we've been having such a blast talking about Robocop.
I love when the four of us get together because I know that the movie we're going to be doing is just going to be fucking great. I really do love when us four. I even said this to Lee when I saw him last week. I was like, I just love when we get together because we always talk about amazingly great 80s or 90s movies.
me and Lee won't show up for anything less than a 5-star.
Yeah.
So the Mario Brothers, there's no one showing up for that one, I take it then.
He better turn up.
I'm hooked
I
on the
can't
brothers.
wait
I'm
for
gonna
that
be
episode.
there.
But we are talking about that one. It's not going to be the Chris Pratt one. It's going to be the Bob Hoskins one, which is going to be
I can't wait.
yeah.
I really can't wait.
Just to say as well, like, thank you guys. I know you're probably going to be sick of us this week because we have a lot of things planned for this week as
We're
well.
very busy.
Yes. So, Sammy, take it away for tomorrow night to start us
Yes,
off.
tomorrow night is Monsters, and as usual time it's 7 o'clock on YouTube, and its audio goes up on Tuesday. It is the last part, it's the concluding part of our Man Behind the Makeup with Rick Baker. You are not going to want to miss this. I actually was writing the list out of the movies thinking, oh, we can just leave a couple that you can't. Between the early 90s and like the 90s and 2000s, you can't miss a Rick Baker movie out because every single one of them is talk point worthy. So that's the concluding part tomorrow at 7.
Cool. And I'm all in for Gremlins too. So get Sammy to talk about more Gremlins. Jake, what are you doing tomorrow night as well?
Oh yeah, so we're the after show for Monsters. So me and Adam, I think, are going to jump on Twitch and play through a game called Exit 8, which is like a spooky little game where you're trapped in like a subway corridor and stuff happens. I haven't played it, but we're going to check it out.
Oh, interesting. You're not a spooky kind of game player either.
No, but I heard this wasn't like abject horror. It's just more
Right.
like psychological stuff.
Oh, just go mess
It
with your
seems
mind.
interesting. It seems really simple but interesting. But yeah, we're gonna check that out, I think.
Interesting.
And if it's too scary, we'll just turn Power Wash on and
and wash all the bad thoughts away.
Go back to the happy place. So the Trekking Boys will be back on Friday as well. Goodwill and Graham are talking about the first time they're talking about Enterprise as well. Ceasefire, I believe they are talking about. So Goodwill is very excited because I know he's been looking forward to talking about Enterprise for a long time. So
they're gonna shout the song so much, aren't they?
Yes, so please join in for that and see his little face and little eyes shining with happiness. Always like to see good.
Speaking of the G-Man, he is actually coming back on Twitch on Tuesday to continue Metal Gear Goodwill. So if you want to see some bipedal robots in the Ed 209 stylings, join us for what I think will be the conclusion of MGS1, because it's not that long of a game. And Goodwill's good at it. He's obviously had that demo disc and kept on playing all these years.
He is the stealth man as well.
Can I just jump on this Goodwill train? And Goodwill, I love you. Right, Paul. I just wanted me chance to declare my love for him. But Paul made us make a purchase today, Sammy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So here is me and Good Wilson. What a resemblance!
Awesome.
I'm fucking speechless.
I'll need to clip that one as well. That's fine.
That's
and yes,
amazing.
so for people who again is not sick of me and Sammy, next weekend we're not just
Next weekend we're taking over YouTube.
yeah, next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we have two episodes. Saturday, we have an interview with the amazing Taffeta Darling, who is very big in the American comic book world and cosplay world and convention circuit. So we'll be talking about her and what her project she's been up to. She runs a lot of podcasts where she interviews a lot of artists. So it's a very exciting time to have say someone who wants to come on and talk to us, northern idiots. So that's going to be interesting. That one will be going out a little bit later on a Saturday night. I think it's going to be a 10 o'clock showing.
Yeah, we've got to fit in with her time, so you're going to have to fit in with our times. There
Yes,
you go.
certainly. And the Sunday, I am so excited for the Sunday episode because I've been wanting to talk about these movies for a while, but we're not talking about them all. We're just talking about one. Army of Darkness. Yes, we are talking about the Chin, Bruce Campbell.
Oh, groovy, baby.
We are going to get groovy, and we will be showing you all about the boomstick. And we may even read it.
Baratu Nikto.
We might even get the Necrocomicon out as well. So, yes, and see what we can conjure up for that episode. And we have the lovely Sonia and Joe joining us there. So, brother and sister.
We've got the brother and sister couple together.
Got the Jonya.
Yeah.
The podcast is going to explode.
But yes. And Lee, are you doing anything interesting this week?
It seems like quite a busy week, so I might wait till next week because Thursday something's happening as well, isn't it?
What's happening on Thursday?
Thursday the 8th of February?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What is it?
We've got Kirsty.
Oh, shit, I.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
It's fine. The plugs haven't ended.
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you, Lee. Lee is getting a promotion. Well done, Lee. He's no longer the jackass of the group. He is but yes, we do have a new episode, a new podcast launching this Thursday. Gigs Up North, where I would love to be able to announce the name of the person. Because I'm really simple. So
it's a secret.
It's Gigs Up North. There'll be an interview with Kirsty. It will be in Kai from Esprit d'Air. A rock band. His album gets launched on Friday. And he actually is the guitar. I think he performs as well with Sister of Mercy as well. So he is quite interesting. It is a lovely interview. It's nice to see someone fangirling out and just basically enjoying it. So yes, that is an interesting one to say. That'll be going out at 7:30 on Thursday. Just to give everyone a thing, it is under an hour, so don't worry. It's not going to be a long episode. So it's a nice little tidbit for you to watch there.
Monsters might be its longest episode ever.
I'm gonna make sure we drop loads of new lore in these videos, so if anyone misses stuff this week, because it's too much, they just won't be caught up next
pork
week.
chimp.
Oh God, pork chimp. Yes, pork chimp.
Don't say that.
I would not mention pork chimp, but yeah. Thank you for everyone who supports us. Thank you for everyone who watches us, listens to us. The audio, as Sam said, will go out on Tuesday, and I know it sounds weird. I actually think we sound better through the audio. I don't know why.
My show does. I actually edit it and put effects on it. So.
Jake's very professional, and I get that sent over in a file that is all being edited and smoothly put out, and I take ours directly from YouTube.
I want to tease something for this next one. We've got a brand new theme song that me and Adam recorded. That's in this next one going out. That's on its way to the airwaves on Tuesday.
Excellent.
Bless you.
Excellent.
Good. So,
but remember, share, and subscribe. And visit us on Facebook and all of our social medias.
Very much. We're on everywhere.
We're there. We're everywhere.
Yes, and I did a guest spot on another podcast last night, and I believe that's going to go out in March. So where me and the podcast that was called I've forgotten the name of everything. My brains was fried. Let's talk about horror. Very very nice guy called BJ, and basically no jokes. But basically we talked about the the Blair Witch, so check that out. Check his Instagram and check his YouTube. He does like say a lot of horror talks. If you like your horrors, he seemed a very nice gentleman. Yes. So
But yeah, like we're like Nerdy Up North everywhere. Just search it in a search bar and we'll show up. Like Twitch,
We'll be
anything.
there.
We also share a lot of like other people's stuff like from around. So like if you want to get a network of cool people, like follow us and we'll point you in some good directions.
yes, and we're not
Absolutely.
dicks.
No.
So to end it up, same
Yep.
bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.